I'm very excited. I'm just seeing everything come to life. Makes me very, very happy today. Uh, this 9 months, how all of this has come together. And for me, these 9 months started with a message from Gurman that, hey, we are starting a database conference. Would you want to be a part of it? And then a lot has happened before those 9 months and since then. And to talk about it, I want to invite some special people today. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to VizChitra 2025. Before I begin in placing some of the context, how many of you attended our online launch party? Can you raise your hand? A handful of you. You are true blue VizChitra, friends of VizChitra. So thank you so much for being here. You have been with us throughout the journey, and you may have some of the context I'm going to talk about. But for others, so at the realm of VizChitra are gobi ke paranthe. So Rasage came home in Delhi, and we had gobi ke paranthe for breakfast. And while I was telling him about Revisual, which is an agency I founded 2 years ago, and doing database in India, I was talking about many things, and one of the things I brought up was a database community. And Rasagya's opinion was that it's very, very hard, and the one person I should reach out to should be Zainab. So Zainab, for those who don't know, runs HasGeek and had reached out to me many, many years ago to do an online database conference. I wrote her an email, do you want to do an online database conference now? And HasGeek, at that call was with Karan and Zainab, and they were of the opinion that to achieve the kind of things that I wanted to achieve, which was to build a space where people like you who do database in different industries could come together and talk to each other, you needed more than something online. You needed community, and you also needed something more than a conference. So I'm hoping, we are hoping, that this conference is just the start of a community of database professionals coming together in India. All of us and many of us in the audience have dreamt of a database conference in India for many, many years. And it's quite surreal to have it all come to life. And so basically after talking to Zainab, I sent these messages and Arpit was one of the recipients of it. We created a database group. We didn't even have a name. We met in Bangalore in October of last year, brainstormed some names, and there on top you see VizChitra. So Arpit didn't say this, but he was the one who came up with the name. So you know, it truly takes a village. It started with this group, and now it's expanded. You'll see these gray bands. Those are the people who have brought it together. But really, the vision is this, that we all come together. We all do database in different fields, but there are many things we can teach each other. And the goal is to just enable that, to enable collaboration, to enable connection, to enable learning. And that's behind the philosophy of VizChitra, which I'll hand over to Rasagya to talk about.
Thank you, Gurman. Thanks a lot, everyone. So my name is Rasagya. I head a design team at a bank called Capital One, and I dream about making weird, interesting data-related things. And so when we put a community together, we thought this is a good opportunity for us to try and give it a slightly unique brand. And so this is typically what a brainstorming exercise looks like. We had a bunch of different ideas. We wanted to try and find novel use of type. We wanted to try and bring data inside type. We wanted to make patterns that get overlaid and are unique to the kind of people that are in VizChitra, to really just bring this feeling that we're all we're all coming from very different areas, but we are all coming together for like a very interesting single purpose. And to do that, we sort of got fixated on this idea of a polygon, especially a pentagon, that could maybe represent this idea of different areas like data, design, analysis, engineering, all coming together. And a radar chart is a great way to actually connect sparingly like disconnected points together, which meant that we started obsessing over making something that changes as people respond to it. And so if you've seen these colors and you've seen some logos and you've seen some of our amazing comms that's been done by a bunch of amazing people, these are what the colors actually meant. They were colors for whether you like collecting or analyzing or developing or narrating or visualizing data, which meant that everybody, and these are just a handful of people that have made VizChitra possible, get their own VizChitra logo, which is unique to them. So stuff like this is what probably comes out of VizChitra. We had a bunch of people try other ideas like changing the name or the letters, maybe making them slightly more VizChitra, quirky. And so we ended with this very interesting encoding, which means that every letter has a specific slant. And then that means you get a unique way to write your name, or you write interesting quotes, like my favorite, which is, if data is the new soil, what will you grow? And with this, we've had a bunch of people jump in, make some wonderful stuff. If you've not been to the website yet, please do. This is a fun, small, but many more polygonish thing. And if you find this weird data logo idea interesting, you can also go on the website. There's an option to create your own logo. You can answer these questions, put a photo, and once you have that, you'll get a unique logo for yourself. So with that, a bit of branding conversation, I want to now jump into something more important that makes a conference, which is what are we going to talk about. So for that, Amit.
So we call this a community-driven conference, right? So what does that really mean? Like, how do we bring the community in as part of making and curating this conference, right? So there are kind of three things or three steps that we need to do to kind of make a conference happen, right? And remember, we started this on 17th Feb. You know, less than 4 months ago, the launch party happened, and we had to make all these three steps make happen, right? So what are these three steps? The first is that we want to get the community to propose. How do we get them to propose? We want them to actually pitch ideas, and we did, the very first event that we did was a proposal jam. It was really people coming, jamming together, pitching their ideas, and we helping them to craft a proposal around all these talks that you're going to see. And on the very first submission deadline, or the only submission deadline, on April 15th, we got 110 proposals from the community. So that was step one of getting the community involved. So every talk that you see, barring the 2 sponsored talks, have come from those 110 proposals. The second part is curating it, right? How do we curate it? And how do we involve the community in curating it? Is we got the largest team in the core team is the discourse and editorial team, right? Because there is a lot of work that they had to do to sift through these proposals and shortlist it, and they got down to maybe, I think, about 50. They liked so many of them, right? And then they reached out to all the community members to figure out which are the ones that we can make work, and we have, out of the 110 right now, with some maneuvering and trying to shrink a few things, we have 25 of them that you are all going to see today, right? That's step 3. It doesn't just stop at curating. How do you get them to iterate on their talk, to become the better version of their speakers, instructors, facilitators? So we had a review sessions. We had an extensive guide, which you can also look at, vizchitra.com/editorial. But you had extensive guide, external reviewers, and each speaker, and you can ask them how painful it was, and I'm looking at a few of them now, and went through this iteration to help improve. And these reviewers came not only from the core team, but a lot of external reviewers, both on talking about the topic from a content perspective, but also from speaking and delivery perspective, right? So in each of these 3 steps, proposal, curation, review, we've tried to do and involve the community in it. And our intent is that we learn much more from what we've done this time in the short 4 months and try and do better next time, right? To talk a bit more about this, more than just the editorial part, which was this event, I'll ask Ipsa to talk about what we are trying to do on the community front, much broader than just this one event.
Thank you, Amit. Hi, everyone. I'm Ipsa, Team VizChitra. So VizChitra for us is not just a conference, but an ongoing conversation where we all get to connect and learn from each other. And it really stands on the shoulder of people who have made this community. We have a buzzing, thriving community on our WhatsApp group, Friends of VizChitra. And we have had people who share ideas, resources, feedback. They bring in their diverse perspectives and their expertise and so on. We have had people who have shared opportunities, people who have shown up to our launch parties, people who have hosted events for us, people who have shared word about us, people who helped us find volunteers, people who came and volunteer, people who helped us find sponsors, and so on. And with these people all coming together, yeah, thank you. So we have been able to do one event a month since our launch, and I'm really excited about where we're going to go from here. And today is, of course, particularly exciting because we all get to meet each other after having seen each other mostly on screens and so on. So glad to see how this community puts in collaborative effort and care in the work that they do. Let's roll. Let's get this started. Prakriti, over to you.